Hello everyone, Stuart here, Andy just joining me. We are at St Andrews in Birmingham, where Ipswich have just played Coventry, again for the second time in 6 days. And once again, the score is finished 1-1. Your thoughts?
Cliche time. This was a game of two halves, and never more will you see that than this. Ipswich dominated the first half. Some really good stuff they played, didn't they? Moving the ball well from front to back. Had a bit of punch in the final third as well. A really good goal from Will Keane, but they missed some chances, didn't they? And they ultimately came back to rue those.
Yes, they were left to rue their profligacy. That's another one from the sports journalism cliche book. But they really did. The first half, that is as good as they've played in a long, long time. They played some lovely football. Downs, Dazelle, Nolan, all very competent footballers. Garbutt as well at left back, started a lot of moves from the back. Even Will Norris as a goalkeeper, I think, is quite comfortable with the ball. But they had some chances, didn't they? Nolan's glanced a header wide from close range. If Judge had put that in at the far post, we'd have been talking about a goal of the season contender. The way Ipswich played the ball through the thirds. Edwards probably should have done a bit better with the cross. The Keane's hit the post with a header. Garbutt's put a volley wide. They could have been 3-4-0 up comfortably at half time, but they weren't, and it came back to bite them.
They weren't, and it took 10 minutes into the second half. Coventry were on top from the start of the second half, so a few little tweaks from them, and then Max Biamu's slid one in through between Wolfenden and James Wilson. He was slipped in there, and it's a good finish past Will Norris, but Coventry had the better of the second half from there, and a draw is probably fair ultimately, but lacking ruthlessness in the second half. In the first half, didn't take their chances. Then in the second, they didn't really get to grips with it in midfield, and in the end, a point is fair.
Yeah, Coventry could have had the same number of chances as Ipswich had in the first half, second half. You'd have been forgiven for thinking the two teams had swapped shirts at half time. It was chalk and cheese, wasn't it? And it just shows you how powerful momentum and confidence is in football. Coventry started the second half on the front foot. Once they scored, their tails were up. What are we putting this game of two halves down to today? I mean, it's easy to focus on Ipswich deficiencies, but I think first and foremost we have to say Coventry were far better in the second half, and they're a decent side. And I thought it was as much to do with them playing well. Mark Robbins, tactical reshuffle, he moved one of his strikers, Bakayoko, out wide right, and said that was to stop Garbutt, and that worked a treat. He took off one of his back three, put on an extra body in midfield, and I think that played a big part as well. And by the time Ipswich responded and Lambert went with a diamond, the momentum was fully with Coventry by that point, and sometimes that happens.
Yeah, it does, and we just get to look forward to this again on Tuesday. The trilogy is complete at Portman Road in the FA Cup, and there has to be a winner in that. Coventry are a good side. They were better today than they were last week, and I think they've only lost twice all season, haven't they, in the league? Yeah. So they're a good side. But when you have that many chances, you have to be disappointed going away with just a point. Ipswich need a win against a team that's a promotion challenger. I feel they need another statement win, like that win at Fleetwood. That felt really good 2 months ago now, that win. A win against a challenger is what they need, and when they have that many chances, they should be really disappointed not to have got it today.
Haven't beaten a team in the current top 8 at the moment. Lots of draws in there. How full is your Ipswich Town glass at this moment in time? Because it's 1 win in 8 all competitions, if we're excluding the shootout win at Peterborough. They're not scoring tons of goals. If you look back through it, they haven't scored more than 1 goal in a game many times since the middle of September. But they're second. They've got a game in hand. They're still in 2 cup competitions. This is hardly crisis point, is it? But I think it's also fair to have a few nagging doubts about the goals and about the not performing for 90 minutes. They've not been able to really produce a comprehensive 90-minute display all season, really, have they? But that's up for all you guys to kind of decide how optimistic or pessimistic you're feeling. But Coventry, Mark, we're calling it the trilogy, are we?
I'm not sure it warrants that, given the 2 that's come before, but yeah, it's a trilogy. But there has to be a winner. That one can't end in a draw one way or another. There will be a winner on Tuesday.
And to the victor, Plymouth or Bristol Rovers away at the start of January.
Yeah, well, let's leave it at that before we make our real thoughts known on those journeys. I'm going to turn the camera off.